The French Revolution was a period of profound social and political upheaval that occurred in France from 1789 to 1799. It was a time of great change, marked by the overthrow of the monarchy, the establishment of a republic, and the execution of King Louis Roman XVI. The revolution was driven by a desire for liberty, equality, and fraternity, and it had a profound impact on the world. The French Revolution was a complex and multifaceted event, with many different factors contributing to its outbreak. One of the key factors was the economic crisis that France was facing at the time. The country was deeply in debt, and the government was struggling to find ways to raise revenue. This led to a series of unpopular tax reforms, which further alienated the French people. Another factor was the Enlightenment, a philosophical movement that emphasized reason, science, and individual liberty. Enlightenment thinkers such as Voltaire, Rousseau, and Montesquieu had a profound influence on the revolutionaries, who saw themselves as champions of reason and progress. The revolution was also fueled by social and political inequality. The French monarchy was an absolute monarchy, meaning that the king had complete control over the government and the people. This led to widespread corruption and abuse of power, which further eroded the legitimacy of the monarchy. In this video, we will explore the causes and consequences of the French Revolution, and examine the key events and figures that shaped this pivotal moment in history. Join us as we delve into the world of the French Revolution and discover how it changed the course of history forever. In 1789, King Louis Roman XVI called a meeting of the Estates General, a legislative body made up of representatives from the three estates of French society: the clergy, the nobility, and the commoners. The meeting was called to address the financial crisis that France was facing, but it quickly became a forum for grievances and demands for political reform. The commoners, who made up the vast majority of the population, were frustrated with their lack of representation in government and their heavy tax burden. They demanded that the Estates General be reformed to give them more power and influence. When the king refused to grant their demands, the commoners broke away from the Estates General and formed their own legislative body, the National Assembly. The National Assembly was committed to creating a new constitution that would establish a more democratic and representative government. The king, alarmed by the growing unrest, ordered the National Assembly to disband. But the members of the assembly refused, and instead took an oath to continue meeting until a new constitution was established. This defiance sparked a wave of popular uprisings across France, as people took to the streets to demand political reform and an end to the monarchy. The revolution had begun in earnest, and there was no turning back. In the next segment, we will explore the events that led to the fall of the monarchy and the establishment of the French Republic. As the revolution gained momentum, the monarchy began to lose its grip on power. In 1792, the National Assembly declared France a republic and abolished the monarchy. King Louis Roman XVI and his family were imprisoned, and the country was plunged into a period of political turmoil. The new government, known as the National Convention, was dominated by radical revolutionaries who were committed to creating a new, egalitarian society. They introduced a series of sweeping reforms, including the abolition of feudalism and the establishment of a secular education system. However, the revolution also led to a period of extreme violence and instability. The National Convention was plagued by infighting and factionalism, and the country was beset by civil war and foreign invasion. In response to these threats, the National Convention established the Committee of Public Safety, a powerful executive body that was tasked with defending the revolution and rooting out its enemies. Led by Maximilien Robespierre, the committee launched a campaign of terror against anyone suspected of opposing the revolution. Dozens of people were arrested, tried, and executed during this period, which became known as the Reign of Terror. The guillotine became a symbol of the revolution, as it was used to execute not only members of the aristocracy, but also ordinary citizens who were deemed to be enemies of the state. The Reign of Terror eventually came to an end in 1794, when Robespierre himself was arrested and executed. However, the legacy of the revolution and the Reign of Terror would continue to shape French politics and society for decades to come. In the next segment, we will explore the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte and the impact of the French Revolution on Europe and the world. The French Revolution had a profound impact on Europe and the world, and its legacy can still be felt today. One of the key figures to emerge from the revolution was Napoleon Bonaparte, a military general who rose to power in the aftermath of the Reign of Terror. Napoleon was a brilliant strategist and a charismatic leader, and he quickly established himself as one of the most powerful figures in Europe. He expanded the French Empire through a series of military campaigns, and he introduced a series of sweeping reforms that transformed French society. However, Napoleon's reign was also marked by authoritarianism and repression. He established a new aristocracy, and he suppressed political dissent and freedom of the press. His military campaigns also led to the deaths of millions of people, and his empire ultimately collapsed in 1815. Despite these flaws, Napoleon's legacy continues to be debated by historians and scholars. Some see him as a champion of the revolution, who brought stability and order to France after a period of chaos and violence. Others see him as a tyrant, who betrayed the ideals of the revolution and established a new form of authoritarianism. Regardless of one's views on Napoleon, it is clear that the French Revolution had a profound impact on the world. It inspired similar revolutions in other countries, and it helped to establish the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity as core values of modern democracy. In the final segment, we will reflect on the lessons of the French Revolution and explore its relevance to the challenges and opportunities of the present day. The French Revolution was a complex and multifaceted event, with many different factors contributing to its outbreak. It was driven by a desire for liberty, equality, and fraternity, and it had a profound impact on the world. One of the key lessons of the French Revolution is the importance of political reform and social justice. The revolution was driven by a desire to create a more democratic and egalitarian society, and it inspired similar movements in other countries. Another lesson of the French Revolution is the danger of extremism and violence. The Reign of Terror was a period of extreme violence and repression, and it showed the dangers of unchecked power and ideological fanaticism. The French Revolution also highlights the importance of international cooperation and diplomacy. The revolution had a profound impact on Europe and the world, and it helped to shape the course of modern history. Today, as we face global challenges such as climate change, terrorism, and economic inequality, it is more important than ever to work together to find solutions and build a more just and sustainable world. In conclusion, the French Revolution was a pivotal moment in history marked by profound social and political upheaval. It was driven by a desire for liberty, equality, and fraternity, and it had a profound impact on the world. As we reflect on the lessons of the revolution, we are reminded of the importance of political reform, social justice, and international cooperation in building a better future for all.